And greetings, everyone. Welcome to another addition to the collection of Days of Alchemia. That's right, the true stories of experiences and events that has happened within Alchemia story, which is the mobile game. And a lot of things happen, so you don't be surprised. Anyways, as you know, I did start us off with a first story called Bad Luck Love. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and go check that out. It's a two-part video, which there's two videos. Make sure to watch the first part before the second. That way you don't miss on the details, how things began to the end. Now, we are on the second story for this collection. And it's a very short, true story. And I'm going to call this story Friendships of Betrayal. So, it's something you wouldn't expect, but it's quite different from the first story. And there's a lot, to make you think, wow, really this goes on? Yes, even still goes on in this game, even to this day in 2026. People seem to be experiencing such. So, now, let's start off with this story with a person we can call them Ollie. Ollie was a very old player. They played this game even up into 2018. Okay? And probably further than that. Probably when it first began of this game. Who knows? But I know they're very much of an old player. Ollie had a bond back then, especially a bond that was quite known. Was quite popular. It had a lot of people. They even went out and took pictures, gathering of pictures for their bond mates and their bond. As well as, they had lots of friends. They had more friends you can count on both hands. So they're pretty well known. So, this person had a lot of knowledge. They were even a YouTuber for this game. They made a lot of content. That's right. That is correct. They made content for this game. So, they had this one friend, which we'll name them Saya. Saya was a very good friend with Ollie. And of course, they shared information with each other. So, Ollie, said, oh, you know what, I'm going to bring you into this game, show you around, introduce you to have fun. Saya was all into that. It's like, wow, that's something different I'd never experienced, So, when Saya actually was starting to play Alchemia story, Ollie would tell them of all the things they've gotten, things they've worked on, all the levels they have grinded up for their account, and even show all their equipment, So, Saya was very impressed, Saya looked up to this person. It's like, wow, you definitely have it all together, you really did all this, really quite surprised, and I actually went with it, and of course, they actually looked to them as a mentor in a way. And Ollie Ollie had some secrets, but we won't go down that hole just yet. So, Ollie basically took pride in what they had for their character. A lot of, avatars, uh, equipment, you name it. And quite a bit of levels on their jobs, And it was pretty interesting. But then one day, Ollie decided to date Saya. Oh yes, dated Saya. And of course, that's when everything started to come out. Things started to make you scratch your head, if you will. And whatever I started this story, the chapter that I started this story on is called The Start of It All. Now we're going into the next chapter called The Secret. The Secret. So Ollie ended up, feeling it was time to tell Saya a little bit of something that, that made some brows raise up. And like I said, Saya looked up to Ollie, it's like very impressed in what they have, what they've done, And it seemed like everybody else looked up to them as well. But the secret just started. Ollie mentioned something about this wasn't their main account. Saya was like, "What? Really? You never mentioned that before, And it's basically that. It was like something new to them that they didn't know. Ollie mentions, yes, they lost their main account. Saya was kind of confused. How could you lose your main account unless you did something, maybe you got banned? Something happened? Something like that, if you will. But Ollie was trying to say, no, nothing like being banned. But, they ended up getting their main account taken. Strange, right? How could your account get taken? There's no way people could hack, could it? So those kind of questions would pop. It's like, oh wow. And they would actually express of how, they had so much on their main account that they lost. Like things that, they worked on. So it's like, okay, that's interesting enough. You got so much and they took it. Maybe that's why they took it. You had so much that, you worked on and things just, happen like that, But maybe they figured a way of hacking into the account. Oh no. It gets more in depth. So, questions kept rumbling inside Saya's head. It was like, well, that's just interesting. So they had to work on a second account, which was really good, Well, truth be told, it only goes deeper. So, of course, their main account was taken from them. Questions were starting to roll. And Ollie was missing their main account. They were missing everything that they lost. Everything. And Say didn't know how that came about. They're still kind of curious about everything. So, after, knowing Ollie being able to farm, grind, do the Tower of Time, all this stuff, these bosses, these high bosses. Well, you'd be surprised what comes next. So, stuff is starting to leak out. Ollie would actually go into other things, mention of the other games that they played, which Saya had played with them. Well, next chapter. After everything starts to click, starting to fill in the puzzle in the second chapter. Now the third chapter begins. Truth comes out. That's right, truth comes out, which is the final chapter. So things started to stitch up. Saya kept on thinking how this is coming to be. Why were their account being taken? How did this happen? Didn't think it would be possible. Stuff like that. Well, Ollie finally comes out with the truth on that main account. Ollie gave access to 2 of their friends to that account. That's right. 2 different people had access to their main account that they lost. Why did they lose their account? And why would people go to that level to even take the account? And who took the account? So, we're going to name these 2 friends. We're going to name one of them Katarina. Katarina and Jarek. Oh, this is getting interesting. Ollie believed in Katarina and Jarek, but it just went downhill. Why did they actually have access? For what reason? Well, the reason was quite simple. These 2, Jarek and Katarina, had access to this account because Ollie has to work in IRL. What? Are you serious? So, Ollie works IRL and lets people on their account? Is that a good idea? I know the devs would not agree to that, but, people will be people, right? Yeah. So that's starting to add up. If you think about it, all the work they put into that main account, these 2 people had access to it, but one of them took that account while Ollie was away for work.